Okay, going for a play and explain. Another quick session. All tables are looking okay. A little deep into the session, so a little tired, but see what we can do. I decide not to ISO table 1 with the short stack in position with a hand that does not perform well at low SPRs. Could go either way here. Start off with a small bet. And versus here, we're just going to be playing shove or fold and pretty tight configuration. Not going to be flatting here. I think we're going to just consider folding on this one. No real sample on either player, but fairly tight basic stats. I'm gonna let that one go. Be continuing on table 1. Not blocking a huge portion of their missed flush draws on brick rivers, so can consider this combo as a triple barrel, potentially. And in the wide format with this button calling, they can have all sorts of weird flush draw combos that break out. So I'm not too concerned about blocking auto folds there. King 6 off even versus the recreational player is going to be too loose to open in the small blind. The ace jack won't be. This is a small 3-bet. I'm sure this hand does 4-bet some of the time. So I'm going to just proceed to call this time. Be checking range here. Potential check raise combo here. I'm assuming it mixes. We roll super low. We don't have any backdoor equity as well. Go for the check call this time on table 2. They still bet small enough on the flop that it could be range bet, so not too concerned about the diamonds. But not going to be talking here. At least I don't know the strategy for it, so we'll just be checking. And here we get a cold call and then a 3-bet to a large size. I think we're going to go with the flat this time. It's not out of the realm to click it back as well. Calling top. And we'll probably be calling non-all-in sizes on this river. Yep, pretty nasty one. Could have some 9-10 suited that misses. Not sure if they're taking this line with overpairs, maybe some ones that have a diamond. Considering it's an under 3 bets config, really considering the fold on table 2. On table 4, I think we can consider some small raises as well. I'll probably be getting in on this turn. Just gotta fold table 2, unfortunately. We'll be marking that one. Yep, Marissa's all in. I guess it's not out of the realm that they'll have tens, but just expecting a lot of queens plus. And pretty nasty with one player left too, but I just don't think we can fold this here. So just go for the call here. We get the lucky, one of the few bluffs we think they would have there, which is ace queen off. I don't think that's played too bad on their end. The opening king 3 suited, table 3. Same with 8-9 suited up for here. If we ever consider ISOing here on table 1, I don't think it'd be terrible. I'm gonna check this time. A6-9 mono. Going to be doing some small betting. Not this time. With the flush draw, low roll, could be betting out here small. Just going for the check down on table 3 if we can get there, especially now with a pair of aces and a 9 kicker. Let me chop with the other king 3 suited. Just going to mark the short stack. The fold ace 10 there. We're going to be 3 betting 10s and pure. Jack 9 off is not going to get in the mix. Flop 2 pair. Not a great board with the small blind flatting range, hitting it fairly hard. But I think we will want to bet with this hand a majority of the time. And blocking all backdoor possibilities as well is nice. And versus 2 opponents, I'm not going to use much of a large sizing, so we're just going to go like third-ish. Smaller fine too. And we'll be going to the 3-bit here. We're going a smaller size. Normally going to 12, we'll go to 10 this time. Excellent flop. Would expect them to open most of their sets here. And just gonna go for a small bet here. And look to shove, I think, most turns. Probably board will be mixing a lot on table 1 with going larger size and not. We're just gonna have, I think, a fairly slam dunk shove here with the amount of equity we have on table 2. Before opening this. Yep, so one of the best hands we're happy to see. Weak flush draw. So we see this check down. Looks like this infographics wrong. Check down and half pot. I think that's versus the sizing. We're just gonna have to call off. We're not blocking much. Shouldn't have much 6-8 that has gotten to this point without betting. So I don't think it's too relevant there. Not sure what we want to do down here on table 4, if we want to shove or not. I think we're just gonna bluff catch on top left. This is cold 4. trying to think of how terrible a call would be here. King Jack suited here, I believe is going to call majority of the time. And Ace King off versus the cold 4. Just going to shove. And considering turn probe sizes for 3 after they check back a flop, they won't do too much checking on. Just going to go for a large turn probe. We just have a classic race on table 4. And the queens are victorious. Take down table 3. Ace Queen off on table 1 will be 3-betting most of the time. Be calling more versus early positions, but versus cutoff, I believe, will just be 3-betting it a lot. Possibly preferring to flat more when we're a little deeper. This is just no reads in the blinds. Just going to open ace 5 off plus. The aces here will be 3-betting small blind and big blind. Queen 3 suited. We'll just open on the button with a rec in the small blind. Be folding to the big blind 3-bet. Table 4, I mean, I just think it's probably an under 4-bet spot, so quite tempted to just get it in beforehand. But we get a lowish roll, and let's take it in position this time. Looks like this table 1 is dying. Looks like table 4 is bugging out a little bit, as it's using my time bank but not giving me any options. So it should be a board that he can consider just 10p range. People check back a lot of sets in this spot, so queens would be the most natural check back, I believe. Could also be some under pairs as well. Not in a huge rush to get the money in the middle at a 2-to-1 SPR, and we roll as low as we can roll. So I'm going to play this one as a trap this time. Queen Jack off will be a fold in table 2 versus the small blind 3-bet. We'll open 8s, table 3. And now on table 2, I think we just go for a half pot sizing and then shove pretty much every river. So let's put be at 80, and I'll have like 3/4 of a bet left, allowing us to shove. Rivers, we're playing heads up here, so we're just going to go ahead and sit out this one. Versus the stonk, we're just going to give up actually being sandwiched between 2 players. Flop second pair would be check calling, I believe, a lot. I'm not sure really about how heads up works, but don't plan on folding to small bets like this one. And here in this early slash middle position config of hijack versus cutoff, probably low frequency 4 betting, ace queen off, probably flatting ace queen suited and pure. And just be giving up on table 1. Go on the search to greener pastures. Ace queen suited with no backdoor versus half pot bet. Wouldn't be shocked in this early position, cutoff versus hijack 3-bet, followed by the sizing if we can just start to fold this quite a bit. I'm going to do that this time. And I'm just wondering if once we get 4-bet by the small blind there, if we ever just want to shove pre. Also depending, I don't know if we were deep enough to have some sort of 5-bet there. Let's relook at it. Yeah, so not that deep, but I'm wondering if flatting is a blunder there, if it's reasonable. No reason on the small blind here, and seems weak in big blind, so we're just going to go for a call and see if we can head to a flop. Today suited, you can open and cut off, but I'm not going to play with it at the hijack. This will be almost a pure 3-bet. Aces again, we have this flush draw in position, gonna just flat here. In table 1, I think is potentially a spot we can go small with range here. Not too sure on that. Table 2 will be going with a half pot bet. Table 3, I'll just be trying to realize. Going for the check this time, table 1. I'm thinking on table 2 we can go for another bet to check back the river. We'll go with that. We're on a 3-4 sizing. And we're just gonna take our loss on table 3. It's fine. Thinking about pocket 2s on table 4. Probably a board we can bet. Essentially range. Go for it. Maybe check folding our 8s. Looks like we have a snap call on table 4. Noticing now it's the small blind call, so if they're weighted towards under pairs, then I could put more pressure on them. Versus a snap call, I might weight them more in that Broadway region that comes flat from the small blind. And on the lowest of rolls at 100, I think we're going to give up, though. Not a bad hand, I think, to bluff with. And yeah, we're just going to give up here. The only thing we could beat would be some type of suited ace that makes it here. I'm expecting lots of mid pairs. 6-7 suited. Alright, raising king 5. What do we got going on table 1? We open raised button and small blind flatted. Not the best board for us, but good backdoor potential, strong hand. Could use some protection. Fishy player. I'm just gonna go for half pot. And with 4 callers on table 3, we ISO the low jack player. We're just gonna play it straightforward, even with the heart. Draw the backdoor nuts, nut flush. We're gonna not bet that one. Could even consider a fold here, but the price is just too good, and we're gonna have to call one here. Folding any raise, and after the button calls, we're gonna just get out to any turn aggression as well. Player checks back, and we're gonna go for a realization. Don't think there's much value we get from things. Some draws potentially. 9x. I think it's too thin, and we don't want to turn this into a bluff, so we're just going to throw it in the check line. I guess we do have the call versus the sizing. Pretty annoying, but planning to fold much other sizes. Going to check this side on table 3. Not too sure what we want to be doing here. Well, we're not going to be able to 3-bet this versus low jack open, even though it's versus a wreck. Versus this annoying size, I really don't know what we could be beating here. So do we want to put in a small amount just to lose to the low ace? Pretty sick. Pretty sick for table 3. Is it possible at all for them to be bluffing this size? Just kind of ruling out pot odds and really want to fold table 3. Pretty weak stats. Just gonna let them have it. We'll be opening the hijack table 2. And table 1, we're going to go for the check this time. We'll be calling versus a small bet here. Don't see too much raising. I was planning to go for the half pot delayed 3-bet versus the check. But I'm just going to be calling here. And most likely calling once again. Lots of draws bricked. And is it possible to get called by worse? Jack X on table 1? I think it is. I think we're going to go for a half pot sizing here. And that's the 4-bet table 2. Sadly, we have to throw away this hand. He's calling king 10 off versus the min raise and the low jack. Versus the overbet, it's pretty sick. I think we're going to have to fold a lot of turns, but don't think we can fold here yet. It's unfortunate blocking the most obvious draws of Jack 10 and Ace 10. But I think we're going to go for the call fold. And then of course we'll pick up a gut shot that makes it more of a tease to call, but I don't think we can. Looks like I was in the big blind here and we just had a limp pot. I'm just gonna, versus two players left to act, we're just gonna be checking a lot here, I think. Versus another overbet size thing, I think we're just gonna give up with the king 10 here. Especially versus low jack position. And we get the snap check back on the club. I think we can block here. And just thinking on table 3 versus the snap check and then the snap min quick. On the river, I think we're just going to let it go as well. I just think it's fairly under bluff. Open ace king off table 4, get a button call. No idea how to play the triple Q board. And they'll have some ace queen in theory, they should. And then tons of pairs, so I think we can go for like a very small bet. Still targeting some better ace highs, and versus a 10x pop up, we're just gonna forfeit the ace king. I think this calling range is fairly pair dense. And that snap large raise seems protection heavy, so not wanting to be outdrawn by overcards. Versus smaller raises there, not that aren't 10x, I think ace king off is the easy continue, but not getting that bad of a price. And versus the short stack caller here, I think we're going to just be trying to barrel them pretty heavily. Yeah, we'll get a few more hands in before conclusion. Okay, start sitting out some tables. Go for the 2-bet this time. Pocket 5s, table 1. Button burst cutoff. Calling fine. Reload roll. You roll low. A board with the only real advantage we'll have here is some overpairs, and then jacks. We're gonna bet probably on the smaller side, and without a heart here with a low pair, we're just gonna go for the check back. And we'll just be going into a showdown here. Yep, and the only better hand I'm thinking we would be able to get to fold here would be 6s. So, maybe some 8x, but no reason to turn this into the check-check bet bluff line. Alright, table's over, fun's over. That'll conclude this one.